think I have some tips to help you get out of feeling stuck and moving forward, whether it's in your money or anything else. So let's talk about it. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Kimberly Lee, transformational coach, speaker, and author. I have been helping people break through tough mindsets for about 8 years now. What else? I love to help people come into more purposeful living, and I am fiercely committed to those who are ready to redeem their painful experiences and pursue purpose and accept their own value, life vision, and the power of their personal voice. So let's talk about it. Why might you be stuck in your money mindset? Why might you be stuck at all? I think it has a lot to do with your personal worth and how you feel from the inside out, right? How you feel about yourself inside is what projects on the outside, right? It's like that ray of sun coming from the inside, those rays just spread all over everything else. So you really have to know that whether it's your money mindset or anything else, that it's going to be an inside job. And it has much to do with your personal worth and how you feel about yourself. So why wouldn't you have personal worth or inner worth? Why would your personal worth be low or feel low? Let's talk about it. Everybody has a different story. A little of mine, I came from a loving family, a kind family, a giving family, a family full of strong women, but there was also some dysfunctional ways, emotional dysregulation, brokenness, fighting to be heard, fighting to communicate, divorce, lack, drugs, which led me to feel like I didn't have a voice as a young woman. So I became codependent and looking to get my value from what I did for other people. Married into a narcissistic marriage. I was married for 20 years. I did ministry for 6 years, and I finally broke away from all of that and started my healing journey. So with that, you probably have a story. And everyone from your background could have been trying their best, but it doesn't mean that you weren't hurt by those dysregulated behaviors, by those dysfunctional behaviors. Some of that latched onto you and stayed with you and kind of created a world for you in your subconscious mind. And so now your mind is doing everything that it can to protect you, even if that's from wealth, even if that's from good health, even if that's from healthy relationships, because it doesn't recognize that this might be good to you. Your brain still thinks you're coping. You're back there in the past coping. So you have to decide to turn off the tape recorder from the past that keeps playing those old stories. So you're going to have to take some time. I know we want everything fast today, but you're going to have to take some time, go through those old tapes, and ask yourself, why do I believe that? Where did that belief come from? Because it's just not a fleeting thought that keeps you in stuck mode as it relates to your money or anything else. It's a belief system. You believe it. You believe that you are not worth something better. And so thereby you stay stuck, right? So in order to rebuild yourself, renew your mind, you need new information. And you've got to be willing to do the work to get yourself the new information, right? Because again, you ask yourself, where does this all come from? Why am I stuck in this particular place at this particular time? You've got to be like an archaeologist and start digging and digging and digging and thinking, why am I stuck here again and why now? I wondered most recently why I really like a certain brand of shoe. And I really did some of my own inner work. And what came up for me was wild. It was crazy. I remember my first year, maybe like my first, second day of high school. And my mom and dad could not afford the real Chuck Taylor gym shoes. And I absolutely loved Chuck Taylor gym shoes. I thought they were so cool, right? Everybody was wearing them. And so I wanted an own pair. Well, what they gave me, I don't know, they might have been Nuckify Buck Taylors or Duck Taylors, but they were not Chuck Taylors. But those were the shoes that I had, and I was grateful. So I wore them to school. I got viciously ridiculed. And it wasn't just the type of ridicule where somebody sneers or snickers and kind of giggles and keeps walking. These two boys, they viciously, as if this is not another human, this is not another person, this is not a girl, they viciously attacked me about the shoes that I had on my feet. Viciously. And I was so hurt and so broken. I had to save face for the rest of the day. I couldn't drop one tear. I had to pretend like it didn't bother me and just go stone cold in my heart. I was so hurt. And I don't think I ever even told anybody that story because I was so embarrassed. And I thought about that the other day, like, why do I love these shoes so much? Why do I love all these name brand shoes? And I thought about that. I thought about that instant. I was like, gosh, is that why? Am I trying to prove something to myself? Well, as that came up and I faced it, I thought, I don't have to live in that moment. Even though it was hurtful, it was harmful. And that could have been the reason for many, many years why I bought name brand shoes, everything, right? Had to be that. Every now and then I buy an off-brand pair of shoes. But as I faced that and as I worked through that embarrassment, I realized, wow, that was a part of my money story. And I want to face that, and I want to be able to settle it. I want to be able to acknowledge the pain of that day for the younger me. I must have been about 14 years old. For the 14-year-old me, I want to stand up for the 14-year-old me, and I want to speak life into the 14-year-old me. You can buy all the name brand shoes that you can afford, that you budgeted for. But you don't have to do it because somebody is viciously attacking you or because you have something to prove from the past. You can do it because you like it. You can do it because you can afford it. You can do it because it's the right thing to do. Guess what? You can do it just because you like it, right? And so I want you to think about that. That was one of my old tapes, and subconsciously I hadn't even thought about that until I really sat down and was intentional about, wow, what are some of the parts of my money story that might be holding me back? What are some of the motivations and the intentions on why I do what I do with money? And that was one of them. So it comes from this stuckness in your money journey, in your wealth journey, comes from low self-worth, which stems from unresolved past experiences and emotions, like I just shared. And again, these are not just fleeting thoughts. These are beliefs. Like I must have thought somewhere in my mind, I must prove that I can buy name brand shoes. I got to work hard so I can buy these name brand shoes. When I really don't have anything to prove to them. I was a child. But those boys in that moment made me feel like I needed to protect myself as an adult because of their viciousness. And I know they thought that was funny and, it wouldn't bother me, but that hurt me to my core. And so now that I'm pulling all of these different stories and all of these different tapes out, I can be free to flow in money and in wealth, right? So I had to get that belief out of my mind that, if I don't have this certain type of thing, I'm going to be made fun of. Somebody's maybe not going to like me or they're going to laugh at me. But what if I like it? I need to create a new belief system. If I like it and I own it and I feel good in it and I look good in it, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Oh my gosh, I hope you get that. That is all that matters. It could be a purple tutu with a green tank top, a orange umbrella, and a pair of Nike Jordans, black and red. One of my faves. If you are feeling it, then feel that, own that. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. And where we do have dress codes, like at work and stuff like that, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about at a deeper level. Is that what you want to wear, right? So you have to get rid of those unresolved experiences, get those past tapes from playing out of your brain, out of your subconscious, out of your mind, bring yourself present, get rid of those belief systems that just don't serve you anymore. This can come from carrying shame, feeling ashamed of who we are and what we've experienced. Low self-worth can lead to many things. Sabotage, self-sabotage, that's a huge one. A victim mentality, codependency, poor personal boundaries. And you might be able to, fake confidence for a while. You might be able to fake that for a while, right? You don't want to fake it till you make it. You want to fake it until you believe it. I faked confidence before, right? When I really had low self-worth, but I had to just fake it in the moment. My point is, you don't want to have to fake your authenticity or your belief system. You want to get down to the nitty-gritty and really find out, what are your core beliefs? And why do you stand for what you stand for? Why do you believe what you believe? Okay? That is going to catapult you into a wealthy mindset. And not just about money either, about all the areas of your life. So you might be able to fake confidence for a while, but when you look at the results or the lack thereof that you say you want, we can all tell that there are certain parts of you that don't feel worthy of what you seek. So you got to ask yourself, what is driving my subconscious? Is it going to be the past? Or is it going to be my new vision for the future, right? So not only did I need to visit my money story, right? And other stories that have nothing to do with money, not only do I need to visit that story and get those old tapes out, I need to now create a vision for my life, a vision that propels me forward, takes me out of that old situation, from that 14-year-old girl and any other situation, and catapults me into the vision now. Vision for my spending plan, vision for my clothes, vision for my career, vision for my speaking engagements, vision for my money. If you're going to leave the old, you've got to create a new vision, right? And give yourself some direction. Root out and replace. There are no vacuums in the universe, and there's no easy way out. I don't care what the socials are saying, okay? So you've got to do a deep dive and get the gems and the jewels. I often say, and I wrote this in my book, Bridge to Breakthrough, I often say that it's in the valleys of our life where we get the gems and the jewels and the fruit that we can take up from the valley, and use it, learn from it, and take it from mountaintop to mountaintop, right? You can only get those life gems when you're digging deep enough to get the lessons that you need to learn and the healing that you need to move forward. So how did I get to a place where I have a wealthier mindset? Well, for me, I'm a born again believer, a Christian, and so I really began to dig in my word. I really began to pray and ask God to heal me, ask God to heal my mind, renew my mind in His word. I began teaching what I needed to know. And I found my true identity. I wasn't that broken little 14-year-old girl. I began to find out that, guess what? God created you as His masterpiece. God created you as chosen by Him. God created you as fearfully and wonderfully made. God created you as His child, as accepted in the beloved that is Jesus Christ. So I began to find out who I really was and reject that I was the life circumstances or the hard things that I had gone through. So I began teaching, and with that, God gave me an instruction. And this was way back when Periscope was out, and I started teaching on identity. Started teaching on who I was in God, right? Who He created me to be. I started teaching on purpose. And as I started teaching and researching and digging, I started learning. And then I started regurgitating all of that information. And so it stuck with me. It changed my life forever, right? I started journaling. I started therapy. I was doing that spiritual work. I was learning to set boundaries. I was really, really bad at first because I thought a boundary was just telling someone what not to do. And a boundary meant pushing everybody away. But really what a boundary is you setting a healthy boundary, a healthy emotional boundary is because you want people to be involved in your life. And so you're teaching them how to love you and how to treat you, right? But you're also teaching them the consequences of what will happen when they cross those boundaries, right? So I was setting boundaries with myself and with others. I started to get really grateful. And I am to this day really super grateful, right? And have some self compassion. Now, this took me a long time. I am nowhere near where I am today because I was the hardest on myself. So, if you're one of those people that are really hard on yourself, you critique yourself really hard, because maybe things you've gone through in your family of origin, maybe you've gone through, some hard life situations and you're just really your own worst critic. I want to encourage you. Have some self-compassion. Have some grace for yourself. If God can give you grace, surely you can give some grace to yourself. Because when you do that, you open the door to allow yourself to flow in the things in life instead of being so braced all the time with this trauma lens because of the things that you've gone through. So show yourself some compassion. Give yourself some grace. I'm not saying give yourself the grace to do all these horrible things, but say if you mess up, if you make a mistake, if you don't know something, give yourself some kindness, some compassion, and some grace so that you can learn what you need to learn and move forward. Most people know when they're doing wrong. You don't have to beat them over the head with it. And I love this verse in the Bible that says, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. And there's another one that talks about people come to repentance because of the goodness of God. When people see the goodness of God, that's when they want to repent. They're like, oh my God, you're so good to me. I want to do the right thing, right? And we know that Christianity is not, you don't earn your salvation, right? God gives that to you, grace through faith. But there are certain ways that we live as Christians, right? We want to walk by the fruit of the Spirit and not by our flesh and our carnality, the base part of ourselves. We want to show kindness. We want to love. We want to have peace and joy and all these different fruit of the Spirit. And so that's what I mean when I talk about that. So have some compassion on yourself. Allow yourself time to grow. Allow yourself time to evolve. Allow yourself time to make mistakes and get back up again and fail forward. This is how you're really going to grow. And this is a key to a wealthy mindset. Do a circle check, because you cannot have people in your circle who are satisfied with you where you are. The people around you must know that you are on a journey to heal and become whole in certain areas of your life. And if you have secret haters in the closet around you, they're just going to make it harder. They're going to be like vampires in your life, sucking all of your good energy out, and all you have left is the bad energy. And you don't have the energy to heal and move forward in your life the way you want to. So you may have to sever some ties. And maybe not forever, maybe just while you're doing your healing work, right? So there may be some isolation. That's okay. Okay? You can work, and here's another key. You can work through trauma and personal issues and move forward simultaneously at the same time. Okay? That's a wealthy mindset. Knowing that, okay, I can't have anything good until I'm totally healed and I'm totally whole. That's not true at all. I can count more than, you name a number, I want to count more than that in the ways that God blessed me as I was decided to get on this healing journey, right? So that's a wealthy mindset, knowing that, yeah, I've got some stuff to work through. I got some trauma. I got some personal issues, but that does not stop me from moving forward as well. So keep that moving forward mindset. Keep that growth mindset, okay? If you have a fixed mindset, a victim mentality mindset, you're not going to move forward, okay? So do that deep dive, get those gems and those jewels, so that you can prosper. You can have a wealthy mindset. Let's talk a little bit more about your money story. Only you can break the cycle of your stories. Only you can do that, right? And it may come through a podcast you hear. It may come through talking, you get a revelation while talking to a friend, because iron sharpens iron. You might hear something at work, right? You might hear something, from a parent or a friend. Only you can get rid of those stories and put them away and start creating some new narratives and some new stories for yourself. Remember, I said you need to create a new vision. You need to create a new vision about how you are going to govern your own mind, right? Yeah, you might have some intrusive thoughts. Kick them out and speak the truth to yourself. Now, that's a wealthy mindset, okay? And you've got to practice that so that you get better and better and better. So your stories will either move you forward or backward, right? And when they move you backward, things like self-sabotage show up, right? Again, you go into protection mode, like, okay, this interview or this big thing is coming up that I really want. But I still have that old tape playing in my head. And I don't really feel like I'm worth it. What can I do to sabotage it, right? Well, I'm going to say that I don't feel good and I don't have anything to wear, and they're probably going to pick somebody else anyway, and self-sabotaging yourself because you've got those old tapes playing in your head. Get rid of those. Evict them. They are living in your head rent free, okay? So, and another thing you might have is imposter syndrome, where you feel like, oh, I feel like I've been invited to the table, but I don't belong here. If you're in the room, you belong there. Let's just settle that, okay? So you've got to work on your self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Esteem is holding yourself in high respect and admiration. All right. So if you are, for example, if you're trying to sell something and you're not getting anything on it, nobody wants to buy it. Ask yourself: is it a pricing problem, or is it a self-worth problem? Do I believe I'm worth what I'm asking for? Right? Because if you think they have it for the sale, or if you think they don't have it for the sale, it's true. Whatever you believe is true. So if you think, yes, my audience has this, I know what my niche is, I know who my audience is, it's worth this, I'm putting it out there, right? Now, not saying that every sale you put out there people are going to want, but you've got to have that inner knowing that you are worth whatever you're putting out into the world. This is something that God shared with me from Genesis 1. He created the heavens and the earth, and he called it good. He said, as he gives us things to do, as he gives us purpose to walk out, we have also got to believe that it is good, that it's going to serve a purpose. It's going to serve someone who needs it. Because if you don't believe that you are worth it and that what you believe is good, what you have is good, whether it's a product or service or whatever, nobody else is going to think it's good either. So you've got to believe that it's good. And that's an amazing, amazing, amazing wealthy mindset tip. Believe what you have to offer is good, okay? So know yourself and why you do what you do. Again, that is digging into your story. Why do I spin this way? Why do I spin that way? Know why you do what you do. Are you trying to repay yourself for all the childhood things that you never got? Because if you are spending your stuff on things like Darth Vader suits and other stuff that you don't need, spending all your money on DoorDash, you're going to go through a spending spree and you're still going to be stuck. So my suggestion is take the time to get to know who you are and why you do what you do. And then you won't be stuck anymore. All right. Do some self-discovery. And your self-discovery should lead to self-care. It should lead to, again, self-compassion. That should lead to self-mastery. And that is an ongoing journey. Another wealth key. Okay. So you've got to do some inventory. All right, I'm thinking about my money story. What am I created for? What is my purpose? I want my money to work for me. I don't just want to work for money. And that's whether I have a business, I'm an entrepreneur, or I work on a 9 to 5. I want to be in the driver's seat of my money, of my wealth. And wealth is more than just money. It's your mindset, it's your health, it's your family, it's all of these different things. It's your legacy, right? So you've got to begin to create new habits. They say it takes 21 days to create a new habit. So think about the habits that you want to change. Try that for the next 21 days. They also say 10,000 hours, you become an expert. So the thing that you've got to do is stop stopping. Stop stopping. That's a wealthy mindset key. Stop stopping, right? Stop stopping. Keep forging forward. All right. Get a handle on your money story and then dream again. Someone needs what you have at your next level. Right now you're stuck. You need to get to your next level, right? So someone needs what you have at your next level. Understand what your money dials are, because you are worthy of living a big life. That's another wealthy mindset key. You are worthy of living a big life. And when I say big life, I mean you are worthy of living authentically. You are worthy of living your best life. You are worthy of self-care. You are worthy of rest. I believe rest is revolutionary, particularly for Black women. You are worthy of good relationships. You are worthy of healthy spirituality. You are worthy of wealth. You are worthy of good health. Come on. You are worthy of living a big life. But you've got to get to a point where you can receive that and accept it and just sit in that and rest in that and then live out your life like that, okay? So in order to have a wealthy mindset, I'm going to talk a little bit more and then we're going to hang it up for tonight. You've got to have some personal management. You've got to get off autopilot and examine your habits. I talked a little bit about that. Why do I do this the way that I do this? I guarantee it's going to take you back about 20 years ago because your grandmama did it that way. Now you do it that way and you just think that's part of your personality or a coping mechanism. And it's not even you. One thing that God told me was when I began my healing journey is I needed to find out not only who I was, but what I liked and why I liked it. I don't like everything my family likes, and they don't like everything I like. I can be weird and quirky and to myself, and then other times I want to be around people. I want to be in lavender fields. Nobody wants to be in lavender fields with me, but that doesn't stop me from doing it. Right? So examine your habits. Here's another thing around personal management that has to do with a wealthy mindset. Respect your time. If you don't respect your time, nobody else is going to respect your time. I used to be late all the time. And I'm like, why am I late all the time? Now I did raise 5 kids, and so that was really, really hard. Really, really hard to try and get everybody out of the house at the same time and be on time was really hard. But as they got older, you know, and they started going to college and moving, I had asked myself, why am I late all the time? I don't even want to be late. I hate it. So I had to do some digging, right? Renew my mind and start learning to respect my time and learn that time is one of the most valuable commodities that we have. So respect your time. Wealthy mindset key. You want to get to a place where you're telling your time what to do, right? I was in a coaching session one time and I really wanted to get this workbook done so I could get it on Amazon. It's just a goal that I wanted to meet. And in talking with my coach, he was like, you know, are you worth this goal being done? Yes, I believe I'm worth it. Okay, then put your money where your mouth is. I want you to take 20 minutes out on Tuesday and Thursday. You don't need a big plan. You just need to get started. I want you to start working on this workbook. And that's what I did over the next month. On a Tuesday and a Thursday, 20 minutes a pop, I started working on it. And when the 20 minutes was over, I went back to whatever else I was doing. But that broke that spirit of procrastination that I was having around getting it done. And it changed something in the grooves of my brain, if you will, that, you know what, you are worth getting stuff done, right? And it broke that fear off of me that, oh, well, maybe nobody wants to buy it or da 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 da. It just broke it off. I am not responsible for the outcome at this point. Yes, do I want my workbook to sell? Absolutely. And I can do all the marketing work around that. But I simply needed to get past the procrastination, the fear, the laziness, the what ifs. And through coaching, I was able to get beyond that. So respect your time. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of your time. Because we are living in some evil days, okay? So make the best use of your time, all right? And whether at work, whether at business, or in any other relationship, it's only going to go as far as your personal management. So you can want these wonderful relationships, but if you don't have any personal management, you're not going to go very far in those relationships, right? Because you're either going to be allowing people to walk all over you and use you, or you might be a people pleaser or a codependent person. So you have got to master your own personal management and why you do what you do so that you can show up as a complement to other relationships and in your business and all these other places in your life, okay? Move with intention. Break down your goals into smaller, actionable steps and set deadlines to your progress. I know you've probably heard of a SMART goal. They really work. So do that. That is a key to a wealthy mindset. Learn to prioritize your tasks based on urgency and importance. And again, you've got to ask, if I'm asking for something, the pie in the sky, you've got to ask yourself, am I an energy match for that? Do I believe that that's for me, that I'm worth having that thing, that I'm worth being that thing? Because if you don't, it's just going to be the pie in the sky, untouchable for you. So you've got to do some soul work, right, in your mind to get to that place. Am I an energy match for the thing that I really, really want? Results. You've got to set guilt-free boundaries, okay? If you want to get results, you've got to set some boundaries with yourself and with others. If you want the results, I really wanted the results for that workbook that is now on Amazon.com, by the way. I'll put the link under here, under this video. Set guilt-free boundaries. Oh, don't you want to talk to me on the phone? No, this is my night where I do my 20 minutes for my workbook. I can't talk to you on the phone, right? So you've got to understand that no is still a complete sentence, all right? And you've got to know how to emotionally regulate yourself. So if you come across, again, here's that self-compassion coming in. If you come across and you're just having a bad day, understand how to breathe so that you can regulate yourself. Do some 4x4 breathing. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right? So there's just one way that you can regulate yourself, okay? You can look up many different ways to regulate yourself and get yourself grounded, and you can do the things that you really want to do, okay? And remember, these are just tips. This is not an exhaustive list, and I am not a therapist, okay? Nor do I want to be. So I know that if you want to change your life, you must change your standards, okay? You must change your standards. Because when your mind is renewed and you can invest in yourself and receive what it is that God has for you, receive that worthiness on the inside of yourself, because you are made in His image and His likeness. You are His masterpiece, right? You are His poema, His poem. You are unique, and there's nobody like you. You're amazing, right? And so with knowing that, you can receive things, right? Guilt-free, and know that I am not the things, but I can receive the things. And I am not a terminal, but I am a distribution center. And so even when I receive things, I can just as well give it out. Why? Because I have a wealthy mindset, right? And I know that if I'm giving it out, it's coming back in, right? That's a belief system, right? I know that when I give, I'm going to receive. And so I'm happy to give, right? I'm happy to help. That's part of my humanity. It's part of your humanity. But I know that there are also some godly principles that I live by, that when I give, I'm going to receive. And it's even better for me to be in a position to be able to give, right? And so that's the key to a wealthy mindset. And you know that when you have solid inner worth and you've done your emotional healing and you're on your healing journey, because remember I said you don't have to be all the way there. You don't have to be all the way there to move forward. You can not only receive, but instead of waiting on somebody else to build you a table, hey, you can build your own table and sit at your table and put things on your table and give out of your table and receive on your table. And that's part of having a wealthy mindset. So, with that being said, I'm going to hop off tonight. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I appreciate you. If you have enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. That lets the algorithm know that I am out here, that I'm giving out good information, and that people like my page, okay? People like you. So, with that being said, understand your inner worth. Understand your inner worth is going to give you the wealthy mindset that you need to be able to have wealth in your money, wealth in your family, wealth in your career, wealth in your business, right? Wealth in your personal management, all these things. So, with that being said, I'm going to hop off. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Have a great evening.